Hector? Hector, how you doing, my brother?
Good.
All right, that's my cuñado's name, Hector. Come right here. Where you from, Hector? You from Corpus? What's your nationality? You look on the back of that flyer? Number 12? What does that say down there? It's a car. It's a car. So you would consider yourself a so-called Mexican, right? All right. So we know you believe in God. Okay. Have you ever read the Bible? All right. Have you ever seen Mexican in the Bible? I've never seen African American in the Bible.
Right.
So who are we according to God? We are God's children, but what's our name? Israel. 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 That's our name. Why is that name important? Why is it so important that we know who we are?
God.
Huh?
God.
God requires it of us. Right. So you go to church? Sometimes. What day do you go to church? Sundays. That's idolatry. That's idolatry. Did you know that? Sunday is sun worship. You're worshiping another God. That's not the God of the Bible. Let me prove that to you. Exodus 20. Exodus chapter 20. Do you speak any Spanish?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ask you something, and I want you to tell me what you understand. All right. Exodus 20:8. Read.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8.
Read.
Remember the Sabbath day.
Remember the Sabbath day. What word sounds like Sabbath? What day is that? The Sabbath day. The seventh day. And what day is the seventh day? Sabado. Sabado. Sabbath. Isn't that the same word? That's the day. Read that again.
Remember the Sabbath day.
Remember the Sabbath day, the seventh day, or Sabado. Read.
To keep it holy.
And keep that day holy. Read.
6 days shall thou labor.
6 days we labor.
And do all thy work.
Read.
But the seventh day.
But the seventh day. Read.
Is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
That's the day that we're supposed to acknowledge and rest. Why? Give me Genesis for me. Give me Genesis, the last 2 verses of chapter 1. That's why we acknowledge God on the seventh day. Read that.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28. Read. And God blessed them. And God said unto them.
Read.
And verse 31.
Read.
And God saw everything that he had made, and
Read.
behold, it was very good.
So after God did all the creation, he said, everything I made is good. Read.
And the evening and the morning were the 6th day.
So that was the end of the 6th day. Now let's go to the 7th day. Read.
Thus the heavens and the earth were finished.
Everything that he did it in 6 days. We're supposed to follow the example of our Father. He told us in Exodus, 6 days we do all our work. So now we're showing you that the Father did the same thing before he told us to do it.
Right.
What kind of father would tell you to do something that he himself would not do? Right? Read.
And all the host of them. And on the 7th day.
And on the 7th day.
God ended his work.
Read.
Which he made.
Read.
And he rested on the 7th day.
And he rested on the 7th day. And what day is the 7th day, my brother Hector? The 7th, which is what day? No, that's the 7th day. The 7th day is Saturday. That's right, Saturday. The Sabbath starts Friday night to Saturday night, because the evening and the morning were the first day. All right? So, correct. So now I told you that your biblical name was Issachar and that you're from the nation of Israel. Have you ever heard of the Israelites before? Have you? Okay, so what do you know about the Israelites? I want to see where you are. That's right. They're the chosen people, right? Yes, they followed God. Moses came and said, Pharaoh, let my people go. What people was that? That was Israel. That was Israel, right? Okay, he said, I brought you up from the land of Egypt. You are God's chosen people, our forefathers, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
That's right.
We've been cut off from our heritage, and we've been given false names. But our biblical name is Israel.
Right.
All right, give me that in Genesis 32. All right, now I'm gonna show you, I keep saying that name for a reason. I want it to drive home. I'm gonna show you the importance and the power in that name. Genesis 32, 24. Read.
Genesis chapter 32 and verse 24.
Read.
And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him.
28.
And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob.
So he said, Jacob, I'm not gonna call you that anymore. I'm no longer gonna call you Hector. All right, read.
But Israel.
But Israel, that's your true name. That's your true identity. Why is it important to know that that's your true identity? Read.
For as a prince hast thou power with God.
For as a prince, you are a son of the Most High God. And if he's the king, what does that make you? A prince, right? Read.
And with man, and hast prevailed.
So we have power with God and with man. So now, I'm asking you, now that we understand that, what are we supposed to do? Give me Deuteronomy 10. What are we supposed to do knowing that we are the sons of God? We're supposed to worship him. How do we do that though? What does worshiping God look like? What does it mean to you?
Bring to him to help us all.
Okay, we're gonna let the Bible explain to us, because I'm gonna tell you this. I didn't know this myself until I picked up this book and started reading. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Read.
And now Israel.
And now my brother Hector, Israel, right? Read.
What doeth the Lord thy God require of thee?
God has a requirement for you, meaning it's not optional. He requires it. Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God.
We must fear God. Now, fear God isn't meaning I'm running, I'm scared, I don't want to talk to you, I'm shaking. Fear him means that you don't want to disappoint him. You don't want to go against the things that he says to you. All right? Read.
To walk in all his ways.
And how are we going to fear God? We're going to walk in his ways. Read.
And to love him.
And we're going to love him. Read.
And to serve the Lord thy God.
And we're going to serve the Lord thy God. Like you said, worship him. Read.
With all thy heart and with all thy soul.
So now, how do we fear God? How do we love him? How do we serve him? How do we walk in his ways?
Right.
How do we do all of those things? We're going to sum it up. Read.
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
We keep the commandments of the Lord. All right? So now, I want to ask you, you smoke? You smoke cigarettes. You know that pollutes your temple. All right, let's get that. Let's get that. We're going to show you. Your body is the vessel of God.
That's right.
When God created Adam, he made Adam from the dust of the ground. He shaped him into a man. And then he blew his breath into Adam's lungs.
Right.
And Adam became a living soul.
That's right.
God's breath is in your body. And you're polluting it with cigarette smoke. You can't do that, Brother Hector. You got to put the cigarettes down. All right? Read.
1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16.
Read.
Know ye not that you are the temple of God?
You are the temple of God, meaning you are the place where he dwells. His spirit is inside all of us. Read.
And that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you.
See what I'm saying? He just said that. The Spirit of God is inside of you. Read.
If any man defile the temple of God.
If you defile the temple, tell me some ways that you can defile a temple. Now I want you to put it in the terms of like a physical building, right? It's a physical building. Just imagine a nice, pretty building. It's so good they call it a temple, right? How can you defile that temple? Some people might say deface.
Right.
How would you destroy that temple? How would you destroy that building? Graffiti, right? Drawing on it, right? Drawing on it. Drawing on it, right?
Bring it out.
Read that.
If any man defile the temple of God.
Tattoos is defiling your body. Many of our brothers out here have tattoos. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? When we learned that it was wrong against God, we stopped. No more. Right?
Right.
You smoke, I've smoked. And guess what? God says, if you defile the temple, stop it. So I stopped. We did many other things. We drank too much. We partied too much. God says you're defiling your temple.
Right.
Stop. We stopped. Finish that.
If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy.
God will destroy you. And that's why he said the very first thing that you must do is fear him. Because why?
For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are.
Read. Go back up. Go back up and read destroy. If any man defile
the temple of God,
read.
Him shall God destroy.
Now, my brother Hector, do you want to be destroyed by God? Nobody wants to be destroyed by God, because we all going to go and stand before our Father, right? And God is going to judge us based on the things that we've done, right? So when we stand before God, we want to be found righteous. So one of the ways that we found righteous is the beard. I see you got the shadow going, but it looks like you shaved before. Look at all the brothers out here. Look at the friend that you're around with. He's got his beard. You're supposed to have a beard. So we're going to give you the law on beards, all right? 1927.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 27.
Read.
Ye shall not round the corners of your head.
Meaning you can't make your head bald. You can't round the corners of your head. Read.
Neither shall thou mar the corners of thy beard.
Neither shall you mar. Mar means to destroy. Go to 21:5. Read. Right there.
Chapter 21 and verse 5.
Read.
They shall not make baldness upon their head.
So when it says you shall not round the corners of your head, it's talking about baldness. You can't make your head bald. Now you see right here, I'm thinning. That's natural. But if it just falls off on its own, that's fine. But God says you can't round, you can't make baldness. Read on.
Neither shall they shave off the
Read
corner.
it again from the top.
They shall not make baldness upon their head. Neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard.
Neither shall you shave your beard. So Brother Hector, you can't shave your beard. So right now it's already coming back. Let it grow. That's a badge of manly dignity. You ever seen a lion before? Whether on TV or at the zoo? What's the difference in the man lion and the female lion? What's the difference? Which one has the hair? The male lion. You are a lion, Brother Hector. You're supposed to let your mane grow.
So they're rejoicing over our dead bodies. Now the Spirit of life from God, that's that Holy Ghost that Christ spoke about. That's that Comforter Christ spoke about. Now the Spirit of the Lord is entering into us. Now we are waking up to the truth. We're not niggas and spicks. We're not Indians and Indians and savages and Mexicans. We're the 12 tribes of Israel.
And they stood upon their feet.
We're standing now. We're standing now. We're standing now.
And great fear fell upon them which saw them.
And great fear fell upon them that saw them. You know what that fear includes? Hatred.
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word